All right, I'm gonna bring up these videos about as an example of the crap that started to go on this video. Let me put it on pause. It's gonna buffer. This damn they know that I think that they know that I'm recording, and so they're causing my damn this SOB over here. Watch the little girl, how she stays looking at him. Watch how she stays looking at him like, what are you doing? Watch, and then watch my camera what it does when he passes. That used okay. They were always passing, deliberately passing right here. Okay, now this is the same day that they came to that gooseneck dude was there and passing there with a little shit there, stepping all over there. And then that thing was passing with a clipboard, and they came to go to poison the rocks here. Okay, that's the same day. This is in the afternoon. This red faced alcoholic looking fuck. He lives in that apartment where I was on the upstairs, right above in that apartment where they were supposed to put me. Okay, and then they moved me over here instead. All right. Now, when I put my head over like that, and I told him, I was nice to him, I wasn't rude to him. All right, I was not rude to him. He stands over there and he tells me that he literally tried to gaslight me and tell me that he didn't just do what he just did right there. And you see the little girl stands right there and she's looking at him like giving him a look like what are you doing? Because he was standing over here, concealing himself over here. And of course I was inside I was inside my storage room there. I was cleaning the bird bowl that I have here on this side of the wall. Now there's nothing in the lease that says you can't feed the birds or whatever. Anyway, I made this little area here, and I only used to put like maybe about a cup and a half of bird seed there. And I have a broom. I'll show you in a minute. And I always used to keep it to the center. Okay. I would throw seed there and keep it contained I know all about rodents and stuff like that to avoid rodents, and that's why I have great big bowls. I have a great big planter bowl, and then I have another one in the middle, and then I have the smaller one in the center. That's like a protection to catch. I've never had problems with been feeding the birds for many years. I've never had problems with rodents. All right. And as far as hanging them, that's one of the reasons why I don't like to hang them, because it makes a big mess. And I was told by that four-eyed, the so-called meter man with a juice with a mustache, Michael Coton. He accused me of having bird feeders hanging from the trees. Well, I don't know what possible trees I could be hanging them from. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And to remove them from the trees, well, how do you want me to remove bird feeders from the trees if I don't have bird feeders hanging in the trees? And then he sent that coke-nosed skunk with a Zia tramp stamp on her arm to come and take the bowl off, to come steal my bowl. So I went to go to the office and go confront her over there, and then they had people prowling around out there in the front, spying, stalking there. They sent some decrepit old dude there. They were doing a lot of shady shit, and then he tried to accuse me of that they determined that there was rats, and then that fucking idiot from next door, he was doing theatrics there. What they were doing, like I mentioned before, is that they can't get to you. They were retaliating. So they gotta take away what you like, what you love, what you enjoy to do to get even with you. Like they can't get to me, so you can't. You can't attack my self-confidence. I don't care if you call me. I'll get to that in a little bit. You can't. I don't care if you call me a no hag. I don't care what you call me. Okay, you can't get to me in any way or what you accuse me of or whatever, because I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care what nobody has to say about me or what slander you say about me or whatever. I don't give a shit what you say. Okay, you got something to say about me, you better show some receipts like I can show some receipts about you. Anyway, this is the kind of shit that they would do. And it was mentioned in that incident report that I had said they were prowling around here. Well, they were coming at night. That they had a bunch of homeless. They would dress them up. I'm assuming as homeless, coming over here, passing in front of here. I didn't know they were gonna come over my wall, doing a lot of shit. I'm gonna get to the next video of what they were doing. Okay, just an example. This is a taster of what they were doing. Aside from coming to urinate by my windows and pulling out a firearm on me, but I didn't see you do that until what, like 3 hours later? Because if I had seen you doing that, you would have been one sorry son of a bitch. Okay? I'm going to say it just like that. Go ahead and stick that in my file, in my secret file. All right? And that lieutenant, I used to talk to that lieutenant with a police department. Sometimes I would be on the phone with him for over an hour. And I would tell him, I don't know what, and I have those calls recorded. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to come over my wall. I don't know what they're going to do. All right? All this shit that they're doing, all these theatrics that they do between the buildings over there, all their crazy shit that they do. Sometimes some of it's so hilarious. They better be careful. They see him, they're gonna put him in a straight jacket and put him in the psych ward. You know, all their Freemason clown shows that they do. Okay, so he passes like that, and he gaslights me and tries to tell me that he didn't. Anyway, he passed over there with his little girl to the next patio, and then he went to the other patio where I was supposed to be moved into, and he stopped right there. And then he turned around, and then he came back. So he wasn't going anywhere. He just deliberately came to pass there. Okay, he just deliberately came to pass there. Let me come down here. Just to do that on purpose. See, then when he passed, see, there he is. See there? See there what he did? And then I'm coming out over here. He deliberately came to pass there just to do that on purpose. Now, how old are you, motherfucker? How old are you? Look at your little girl, how small she is, and not even she did that. See that? Okay? See what I'm talking about? See there? Motherfucker? Okay? And I told him, you got all that room to go over, to walk over there. They used to come and they used to stand over here. This one motherfucker, one time he came over here, and he literally stood right here and was blowing his mocos out of his nose. And then that other idiot that lives in that end building where you come into the complex, he comes to come jump, just to do like a little skit there, like an idiot on the wall, jump on the wall there, just to put hang his arms over. And then right before I moved out of there, this other idiot went around the building and ran around for 2 straight hours, went round and round that building, and every 5 minutes he would land right in front of the patio. He went around so much that the motion detection stopped going off on my cameras. But not even your little girl did that, okay? And then you lie that you just did that. So he comes back. Okay. Or is he coming back? So here I am. See, I'm with a broom over here. I'm getting ready to sweep it there. Okay. And here I am with him. And here he comes back. So this time he's coming like that. And then later on, he comes back with that big fat wife of his. Okay. And she stays staring over here. All of a sudden, they started coming back over here, prowling around back here. Gang stalking is what they were doing. Never saw them back here at all. Never ever saw them back here at all. And staring over here. And then they would walk to the front. You know, I got all those videos. And then they would walk in the front of my apartment. They're just staring over here. That's what they would do. And they'd be laughing. They're ignorant. They're fucking ignorant. They're just fucking ignorant as all hell. Okay? No, see, there's this is, okay. Now, later in the evening, I'm going to come up here. I would come to find out, but this ass clown over here. Hold on. This damn ass clown over here I had no idea who he was, but then I would come to discover that he lives across from that damn Venezuelan, that puto pestoso. That's what I call him. I call him a puto pestoso because he always used to drown himself in cologne. And you know, I suffer from chronic migraines, and every time he would come in my apartment, he would trigger my migraine. He stunk. Why do you got to bathe yourself in cologne? He used to reek horrible. All right? This fucker lived right in the apartment right across from him. And then I saw him conversing with that coke-nosed skunk, that regional manager of theirs. I saw them. And then I caught her. You know, they were doing other theatrics, sending people back over here to my patio to come spy on me. You know, you catch them. That's how stupid they are. Okay? Well, he literally came from way over here. Here he comes right here. He came from way over here. That pestoso lives up here. Up here. In this apartment right here. And then he lives in this apartment where this door is right here. And this pestoso over here, I used to catch him standing in the door looking towards my apartment. I used to catch him. I have videos. I used to catch him. I used to record him. And then one of those lieutenants from the damn police department tells me, "What are you doing recording him?" "Oh, what are you doing recording? But it's okay for them to come record me, right?" I'm going to get you that video in a few minutes. Well, here comes this motherfucker right here. Okay? Came up like that. Here he comes right here. From all the way over there. All right? Here he is with the phone. And then when they used to be out there stalking around there and doing their shit, they would whistle to each other. I have it all recorded. There he is with his phone. Looking at his phone. Okay? And then he goes and stands there. This is on the same day. Okay? At about what's going to be 11 o'clock. And then that chorijete that came over here in October, he tells me, he has the audacity to tell me, "Well, how do you know that they're Mexicans or whatever, that because they live there?" I said, "And I know exactly where they live. I know exactly who they are." That's how. When he was telling me that he was going to tell the detectives so they could see the videos, well, they've already seen them because they've already hacked into my shit. There he is right there. Okay? Why the hell are you coming all the way over here just to stand there and then watch what he does? Okay? There's his ugly, bald, ugly fucking face right there. Okay? And then I used to take pictures of their shoes. I used to study their shoes to see what they were wearing. That's how I know a lot of them were the same fuckers. There he's standing right there. And then he turns around and he points the phone. He's pointing the damn phone at my window. And he's not the only one that's done that. Got his arm up, see? Got his arm up. Hey, see there? See there? Okay. Okay? When you're not coming over here to come stand over here to urinate, or coming here to urinate by my window over here to piss over here, you're coming over here to piss over here, or you're going over there to go piss over there. And I got the videos of you doing it, but they're according to the chorijetes, they're marking their territory. Or it's gross. Do you realize that in some states that you can be charged as a sexual offender for doing that? But not here in the land of lawlessness, no. You're marking your territory over here. You're marking your territory. It's gross. But you got a paranoia with everybody living their normal lives. Right? Right? Okay. Come on. Okay, you son of a bitch, see? Okay. And there he goes. And then here he goes back to the back over here. There's a video. And there he goes. One night, one motherfucker came like that. And I was standing here. Because I used to come out onto my patio in the night, or I'd go sit in my truck. I was out here. Seeing how I cleaned it up at night? See how I remove the seat at night? I never leave a seat out at night. Never. How the seat's gone? Okay. The motherfucker came like that, and they were wearing a hoodie, okay, with a backpack. Okay. And he saw me, and what he did was he went up that way, and then he took off, and there's a great big tree, and then there's a playground with a slide, and then you go up, and then there's the next building. Okay. And he went and hit against this wall. And then like about 2 minutes later, this other fucker started coming from this side over here. He came between the buildings there, and then he saw me, and when he saw me, he took off like that. He took off quick like that. So I came through the door, and I grabbed my coat real quick, and I put it on and put my shoes on, and I went out the front door to go confront him, and he took off like lightning. He went up that sidewalk, and he disappeared. And then when I turned back around to come back up the sidewalk, come back to my apartment, this son of a bitch over here was coming out way, way, way at the other end and going up the sidewalk. So why were you concealing yourself against the wall there? Why were you hiding yourself? And then they both had great big backpacks on their back. So what the hell were you carrying in those backpacks? Okay, there's that. Now I'm going to bring up this stalker over here. Hold on a minute. That came to stand there for 41 minutes to record me from across the parking lot. Hold on. Okay, I forgot to put this on pause. Okay, this fucker over here. He came in at 11:13 running from the street. Okay. Came in running from the street, and usually I take my dog out to use the bathroom between 11 and 11:30. I come out with my dog. But for some reason, I didn't come out. And then when I came out to do something, and then you see these cars passing here. I came out to do something, and I snapped to him right away. I snapped to him right away. So what I did was I came back inside, and I grabbed that rake. And then I came outside, and I played the part I raked around the bird bowl there. I just played the part, and I was watching him. I put my sunglasses on. And then I went back in, and I made a call. Okay, and I made a call. So and he's just standing there, and then he'll go to the end of the curb, and he'll like squat down. And then when I come out, he'll be squatted down there, and you can see him pointing the phone. He'll standing there, and he's pointing the phone. That's what I was watching him the whole time I was going around that bird bowl. I was watching him. Let me put this on pause, and let me go fast forward it. Okay, so it's 11:21 here now, and now he's still there, waiting for me to come out. Okay, so we're standing there waiting for me to come out. And another one that used to do shit like that too is that puto pestoso. You know, he lives over here, up on the top over here, on this apartment right here on the left side right here. You know, he had his window there. He could see me coming, everything I was doing, coming in and out. He would go into this apartment right here that was empty. And when I would come out with my dog, he would come running out of there real quick, and then he would go up the stairs into that empty apartment. They vacated that apartment upstairs in February of 2023, and that apartment stayed empty until I moved out of there last April. And they were going up there. They left furniture up there. Those people that live there, those drug addicts. And there was even a mattress up there. And they were going up there and they were moving that furniture around up there, making noise up there. That's why I put that camera on my truck. I put the camera outside above the door for sound, and then I put that camera on my truck, on the dashboard of my truck, to catch who was going up there. And so that Mr. Mustache, he threatened me that he was gonna give me a citation he put for that camera on the truck. They were up to no damn good. And then I have a video where they were up there one night dragging the furniture up there and banging shit. I don't know what the hell they were banging. And you can hear it on the patio camera. You can hear everything. And then when I told that chorijete, o váyate la verga, about that, he asked me, are you on any medication? Do you have a firearm? You know, and they have this dead stare, you know, the psychopath stare. You're talking to them, and it's like you're talking through them because they're not human. See, now he's down there. Okay. Now, why would you come running off the street like you did? I'm sorry, I didn't turn the camera on. It wasn't on when he came running. Let me put it on pause and until I come out. Okay, so 11:30. All right, he's just standing there. I go 11:30. And it's very obvious what he was doing. It's very, very obvious. You're going to see. And these cars keep coming in. Put it on pause. Okay, this is around the time I start to come out. I'm heavier here. I've lost about 55 pounds from when this video was. Okay. When I come out to sweep, I used to do this all the time. I used to sweep the sidewalks and I used to clean and everything. And I think he was around here where I snapped that he was there. Okay. And there he is pointing see, I'm there on the sweeping there. It's right when I come out that I snap that this fucker's here. Okay. I snapped right away he was there. I have better images of him because I was able to zoom up the camera and then do screenshots of what he was doing. You can see him pointing the phone right there. See, now he moves his head over to the... At one point, I move over like to the left of the staircase like that to hide myself, so I can watch him from there to see what he's doing. Anyway, I'm gonna fast forward. Anyway, that's what this fucker's doing. Okay, that's what he's doing. He's got the phone. He's pointing it at me, and he's recording me from over there. I'm gonna just move this forward. Okay, it's 11:46. So pretty soon I'll move over to the left of the stairs, and then you'll see what he does. Here comes that Raggedy Ann. Okay. So see, now he can't see me anymore, so he moves over. See? See how he extends himself, he stretches over like that, see? What he does? And I'm deliberately hiding myself right there. Okay, another few more minutes and then I come and get my dog. Okay, let me put this on pausing. Okay. So there he is. You can see he's there pointing the phone. It's 11:51. See? And what this lousy little motherfucker doesn't realize is that they're waiting for him to come off the property to be, and he's followed. They're waiting for him to leave the property. Okay, so I come in. This is where I come in to get my dog. I'm standing there. I come with my dog. And then there goes this black car. Okay, I mean, all these cars passing here. There I go with my dog. And then he'll move over. Okay, and he moves over to the other side. Here's from the bedroom. See how he goes, or he's coming in. Okay, that's where he comes in. Now I'm gonna fast forward to where I come out with my dog, and then he leaves. Okay, there goes that black car. It is 11:52. The son of a bitch standing right there. Okay. Now I would say that's stalking, right? Right? But that's okay, you son of a bitch, because I know exactly who you are. Now, when I mentioned this to one of those chorijetes, that's when he divulged to me that I was under investigation. And I told him under investigation for what? Investigating me for what? Okay. There goes the black car. And then he goes around, spins around there. You see, you got all these cars doing all this shit, okay? And there I go with my dog. Okay. $153. He's standing there with his hand on his hip. And then I had other characters, coming up over here and getting sticking their hands in the bird bowls, their little big nosed dinosaur looking. There he goes. Okay. And there he goes. And they're waiting for you, bitch. Okay, they're waiting for you. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Now, when I went to the office and I told that Montecosa sitting in the office, that thunder thigh hedgehog looking pig over there, she tells me that maybe they're watching the one upstairs. Yeah, sure. And I said, well, that's okay. I said, because when he left the property, they were waiting for him. Okay? They're waiting for him. Now I'm going to show these other characters over here. You know how they like to insult you and call you the old hag. I don't care what you call me. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care what slander you say. You got some receipts? You got some proof? Because I've dug up quite a bit of shit about you, like this. Hold on, like this one over here, like that mongrel upstairs, and this thing over here, this penguin-looking motherfucker over here, and her jello-y little ass, worthless little fuck over here, fried fuck over here. They sure do look a lot, don't you? Now they pass over here, okay, and when they're passing, they get about right here. Let me pull this back. Not focusing. And he calls me the old hag with the cameras. Okay, she sure is palsy-wowsy with the chorijetes. All right, well, palsy-wowsy with the chorijetes. And I'm the old hag with the camera, and then they set up their little clown shows. Well, in February of 2025, she sends this frog fuck over here to come to my door, and they set up a little clown show there that they stole their truck. Nobody stole their damn truck. Nobody stole their damn truck. Okay. This ugly son of a bitch over here looks just like she has like big spaces between her teeth. She's got quite an interesting little background over here. This thing over here. Okay. Got quite an interesting little background, don't you, penguina? You can do all the exercises in the world, and it's never gonna It's never going to change your deformed, ugly ass. Okay. Now, right before I moved out, they went and they ordered this ugly son of fat son of a bitch over here, useless fuck of hers. Hold on a moment. Before I get to what they did before I moved out, watch what he did. Watch. This is the kind of shit. This is the kind of shit that you give birth to. This is the kind of embarrassment that you give birth to, right? Okay. Well, you're not peeing by my windows, peeing on the wall over here, peeing on the wall over here. Okay, you're pulling this shit right here, right? But you have to you like to call people names, right? Like to call people old hag, and then you like to walk around with your little boyfriend. There he goes over there. He was going behind this wall. I don't know what the fuck he was doing with his hands in his damn pants, and then he saw that the camera was there. With his damn hands inside his damn pants. See, you fat ugly frog with your jiggly jello ass. Okay. At least my father wanted me. At least my father didn't deny me. Okay. At least my father had me in my own home. I grew up in my own home with my own yard to run around in. At least my father supported me. Okie dokie. How about yours? How about yours? I think not. Don't get me started. Okay, don't get me started. All right? Out there, smoking marijuana. I caught him one morning smoking marijuana. What's this over here? Over here by my wall over here. Caught him over here early in the morning. And then my dog jumped over the wall, and I had to go out to get my dog, and it reeked in that corner over there. I put on marijuana, a whole bunch of teenagers over there, and they all went to go hide up the stairs. But yeah, you have your bloody nerve, okay? Okay, and then over here, you got his little boyfriend over here, his little moppy top boyfriend over here, okay? They think that they're so funny, Comes to bring the dog there. Little jiggly jello ass with 4 eyes, with his hands in his pants. Okay. This motherfucker, before I moved out of there, he was back there prowling around the back patio over there. Never seen him back there before, but there he was back there. Okay. There he is back bringing the dog. Okay. All right. That's his little boyfriend, okay? And then another day, and then there he is looking, looking over here looking in my window over here, Okay, over here. Okay. He comes by with this fat bitch, with this fat pig over here. Okay. And here they come over here and they're laughing, they think they're so funny. Okay. And they turn to stare over here and then pointing over here, They think that they're so damn funny. Okay. They are staring over here, laughing, Why don't you go do something with your loser life? Besides, walking around with your hands in your pants like a loser. Because the only ones that I know that walk around with their hands in their pants like a loser are losers. Somebody with a lot of fucking a bofo. My dad used to call him a bofo. A lazy, worthless fuck. My dad used to say that. And they walk around with their hands in their goddamn pants. They got a lot of time on their hands. You got a lot to stare at, don't you? And then when I let that fucking Michael Cotton, Mr. Juice with 4 eyes and mustache, the meter man, I read from Arizona, the broker. He tells me that it's the cameras are giving them a reaction. Well, when they came up this sidewalk over here, this rat face next door has a camera on his window here, and then he's got one over here on his bedroom window on the front. And then when you come up, I'll go all the way up the sidewalk. You got like 3 cameras up on the top on apartments up that way. And then you got like about 3 or 4 more on the windows also. And then when you go this way, let me go this way. Let's go up this way. Hold on. Here they come over here. He's over here pointing his little thumb over here. Because they're such badass, right? Well, this penguina over here, the ugly penguina, she had one here on the window here, and then this window here has one, and then not this window, but the one here has one, and then the building next to this one here had one up on the top, and then the one across from them had one up on the corner. Okay, there's cameras all over, and then you come over here, and there's cameras over here. There's cameras all over the complex, but it was giving them a reaction. Okay, it was giving them a reaction. Okay, here they come here. Let's see. Look and laugh. They think they're so damn funny, but he's a jolly jiggly Jello's boyfriend. Okay. And then calling, like I was gonna say earlier that also before I moved out, Jiggle Jello ass came and parked his ass over here. Put this on pause. I had some woman come up to my door. I was already laying down, and she was banging on my door, and banging on my door, and I was like, "What the fuck? Who's banging on my damn door?" And she kept banging on my door. And I said, "You better get the fuck away from my door before I lay your ass out. When you stop banging on my fucking door, I'm going to lay your fucking ass out." And she kept banging on my door. So I said, "You know what? I'm going to call the police. And I'm going to let them know because, the way she was banging my door down." And I called her and I told him, I don't know who this woman is. She's banging on my door like a crazy person. And I'm going to open that door and I'm going to knock her ass out. And the dispatcher tells me, no, don't do that. Don't do that. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then she walked away. And then she had parked her car back in here. She had her car parked back here. But see, what I didn't notice was that Jiggle Jello ass with the 4 eyes, he came down the stairs with some other bitch from Española, because that's where they're from, the Penguina, from over there, from the norte. And they were sitting over here, and I didn't know that they were sitting over here. And the other brother. And they were sitting over here, and they had the phones in their hand. So, now I don't know if that was set up, they set it up, or they just called to be narrow-minded. It's more Freemason, clown show. And then I noticed that bag looked familiar that she was carrying. It looks like one of those insulated bags that they carry with pizzas. So I said, well, anyway, I went up before I called. I said, I'm going to get on the phone. I'm going to call the pizza places and I'm going to see if maybe it's a delivery person. Because she wouldn't leave. She went and parked and she would not fucking leave. She was there for an hour. I have the recording. She was there for a damn hour, would not leave. So I came out the front door and I said, "What the fuck? The fuck's going on?" And they were standing over here and they turned to look at me and they had the phones and they kept looking at their phones. And when they saw me come out like that, they took off. Well, they're cowards. Okay, they're cowards. They're funny, but when it comes down to it, when it comes down to talk the talk and walk the walk, they're cowards. And they took off back over there, and then they went and stood over here. So she wouldn't leave. And then she comes back to my door and she says something about, Sherry, you stupid fucking cunt. She said that to me. And then that's when I snapped at that. Look, it was a pizza. That I go, I wonder, So anyway, so the first place I called was Pizza Hut, and the manager answers, and the manager tells me, yeah, we have an order for 5 supreme pizzas for Sherry Dominguez to your apartment. And then he gave me some number, but it wasn't a New Mexico number. And you can track with the app, you can track where the driver is and everything. So right before that driver, I went and I pulled up all the videos from here, from this window here, and from the front. Well, right before she drove up is when they came down the stairs. So I don't know if it was a clown show or they were just doing, like I said, to be petty and ignorant, because that's what they are. Maybe they need to get their head out of the drugs. And then the following day, I went to the office and I told that new manager, and I go, you know what? Not only are they wasting that driver's time, I mean, that was like over $100 of she's waiting for her tip. That she relies on that. That's her income. You're wasting her gas, her resources, and then you're wasting the resources of Pizza Hut. That's just downright ignorant and petty to be doing shit like that. And then the following day, that fucking cunt, she was parked over there in the disabled parking. They do it on purpose. I was in my truck. I was doing something in my truck, and they moved it. This is the disabled parking over here. They came in, they moved the car over here, and then they got into the Penguina's car, and then they deliberately got out of my truck, and I said, Sherry. I started singing Sherry Baby out loud. So that little cunt that was with that one in that car, she turns around and gives me a big old ass dirty look, like I give a shit. But this is the kind of stuff that you put up with. This is like almost an hour video that I'm doing here. Oh, there's lots more. There's lots more of the bullshit that these they're not even human. I don't even call them human. I don't call them human. Whatever I used to say, whatever humanity that they may have had, I think that they're very, very deeply demon possessed. Seriously demon possessed. Whatever humanity they may have had is warped by all the liquor and all the drugs, and they're just overtaken by demons. Nobody normal, or even mentally ill. If you're mentally ill, you have an excuse to be mentally ill. There's help for you. You can get help. But something like this, there's no hope for you. They actually get off on doing shit like this. You can tell just by they're laughing. I don't know you shit from Shinola. You don't know me, or they're paying you good or whatever the hell, but they're actually getting off on doing shit like this. You know what? They're actually. You know what? You know what? You don't even have the talent that I have. I have a tremendous talent. I'm not even going to go into it. And that's what, I've heard like David talk about that. I've heard lots of TIs talk about that. You wouldn't even begin to imagine the talent that I have. The intelligence that I have. Aside from the discernment that I have and other gifts that I have. All this bullshit, I haven't even touched the bullshit that I've gone through between that house that I lived in between there, from there, in between, and then here, living in this fucking place over here. I never seen this level of ignorance, and then the chorijetes, then to find out that the chorijetes are involved in all this. You put a gun, a firearm, into the hands of something like that? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? All right. Enough talking.